turn the music down a little bit. So we're still on the countdown screen. So let me ask you, Oracle.
Go on.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized crocodiles,
Yeah.
or one crocodile-sized duck?
It's got to be the crocodile-sized duck, I think.
The
I can't do
crocodile-sized
the
duck.
100 crocodiles.
But it's a one-hit wonder. It'll hit you once with its beak, and you'll split in two.
No, you won't.
You'll
No.
be eaten, but you'll be the first human.
Do you know how
ever be eaten by a
painful
duck.
100 little chomps would be?
You can stand on them. You're not
No.
standing still. Maybe you've got a stick.
They can lunge.
They can't. Well, how far are they going to lunge? 6 inches?
They're fat. Where are we, actually?
It's like the question about the snail.
No, where are we?
Where are we?
Yeah.
We are in a field of grass.
I feel the grass. Okay. So how high is the grass?
The grass is 2 inches high,
Okay. So it's just
and
like
the ground is soft to firm.
All right, so it's not hard in the grass.
No.
Okay, the duck will be fast, but I don't think it could kill you like that. Realistically,
It's huge.
do you know how big its neck is?
Do you know how fast a crocodile-sized duck could run?
Yeah, but you just grab by its neck and just like
Its neck's going to be about 60 inches. Not 60
no,
inches.
it's not.
Neck's going to be about 30 inches. It's going to have a huge neck. You won't be able to grab it by the neck.
Yes, you can. Do you know how small the neck is of a normal duck?
I reckon you...
Okay. How about we think like this? What's the magnitude difference between a duck at its current size and a duck which is the size of a crocodile? Like what?
60 times bigger.
60 times? What? No, it's not. 60 times?
60 times
Are you kidding
bigger.
me?
No. And it's going to weigh about 12 stone. 15 stone.
Well, you know what? I'll be like the producer in the background. I'm going to do the research.
You've got 45 seconds before the stream goes live. KB
I'll
is
just do it
in
by
chat.
mass. Mass of.
Good morning, Danny, KB, Kabir, Hidden, Mags. So
Right.
so you're saying
So we've got about it's 0.7 to 1.6 kilograms.
Yeah.
Is the average mass of a duck.
got
So let's just go extremes. 1.6.
you got 20 seconds. And then I'm putting us live. Kabir said a croc-sized duck won't be able to fly. It can fly, Kabir. In this scenario, it can fly.
Which crocodile are we doing? American, saltwater, Nile.
African.
So the Nile.
5. We're going live.
Yeah, but I'm still going to talk about I've refused. You can do your intro, but I've refused.
Good morning, everybody. We are back. My name is Mike. This is Crypto Warehouse. I am joined today by the one, the only Oracle,
Hello, everyone.
who is now incensed at the fact that I have said that a crocodile-sized duck is 60 times larger than a normal duck. We have a lot to talk about today, other than ducks, because it's a Monday. We're going to be talking about the charts, the DXY. We're going to have a look at the calendar, what's coming up this week. We're going to have a look at liquidations. There's been a lot. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. We're then going to talk about Free Willy Woo, what he has had to say about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about ADA. We're going to talk about targets for 3 other cryptocurrencies, a killer app. We're going to talk about VC gains, and we're going to talk about scams. All of that, and the Oracle is going to do the Bitcoin chart, and we've got the X-Files. So we have a very busy day today. If you are in chat, say hello. We do not bite. And I've already said hello to KB, Danny, Kabir, and everybody else that's in chat. The poll question of the day, by the way, if you're watching on Binance, is who would you prefer to fight? And the options are 100 duck-sized crocodiles, which I would go for, or 1 crocodile-sized duck. They are your options. And so far, it's 50-50.
Yeah, you can't do the crocodiles. Because they start biting, they're teeth are like sharks.
Markets look like this. The market cap is $3.25 trillion, Oracle. Do you know the last time we streamed together in a room? I think we're at 2.9, 2.8. We've come a long way since our last stream together. Volume, $150 billion on a Monday morning is very high. Bitcoin dominance is coming in 63%. ETH dominance, a meager 9%. That will be higher before you can say Duck. Bitcoin coming in at 103,160. We had lots of excitement, which the Oracle is going to cover off in his charts, where we went all the way up to 106.5 or 107, was it, that we got to?
Yeah.
And then we came down to, 101.8, 102, something like that. ETH has been kicked in the nuts. It's at $2,400. Tether has reclaimed third position from XRP. XRP was above Tether last week, you know. Can you believe that? XRP 230, BNB 638. Solana has come back down to 162. That's also been crushed.
Pretty pants for that.
And Cardano came to where, Oracle?
What was it? 72.2? Is it
72.2. And what was your price prediction?
72.
72.2. So we're actually 72.17. So we've actually hit your price target.
Let me go. I can't remember what my exact price was.
And then we've got Sui coming in under $4. Chainlink hanging in at $15. But it's a bit of a red day. A bit of a red day. Let's have a look what is up.
There it is, 72.2. We came to 71. So there you go.
Well, there you go. Happy days. We don't have many winners. Gold is up. Monero. And that's it. Everything else is down. And biggest losers, Brett. Anything under, what did I say? Anything under 11 cents, anything under 9 cents for Brett. Something like that. I can't remember what it was now. That's at 6.6 cents. Dog with Hat, 4, Potenza, Lido, Athena, Casper, all plus or minus 5% and above. Jupiter is below 50 cents again. It's just an absolute show. It's a duck show. It's a ducking show.
I like Kabir's attitude towards it there. It's not that he's scared that the duck's going to hit him. He's scared that it's going to fly away before he can get his hands on it. Crocodile duck won't be able to fly away. I like that. I like that mentality there. It's not about how dangerous the duck is. It's about the fact that it can escape him when he's got control of the duck.
I would love to see Kabir riding a crocodile-sized duck. Could you imagine an army of Kabirs riding 10,000 ducks into battle at the Battle of the Five Armies?
This one. No. If it's 100 little mini crocodiles, imagine you in your little saddle, a little crocodile walking in.
I'd have them strapped to my feet. I'd have 50 crocodiles under each foot.
You croc skate.
Now then, we've got a meme. Me trying to figure out how there's $56 worth of Bitcoin left on exchanges, which I say all the time. Everyone is opening Bitcoin treasuries and Saylor is buying 3 million coins per day, but the price is going down. Again, it won't go down forever. In fact, there is a good chance. If you know what we should do, here's a thing for Crypto Warehouse to do. We are going to extrapolate the data and we're going to give you a date in the future where there will be 0 Bitcoin left on exchanges. And we're going to give you that date and then we're going to put a countdown on. And I think we're going to get closer to 0 than a lot of people imagine. You know that?
Yeah.
Now then, we have some Crypto Warehouse news. What are we doing on Wednesday?
Got a shenanigan bonanza going on.
We have a Chronos night on Wednesday, and there is a lovely figure in a darkened hood. Could that be KB? Could it be KK? 21st of May, we're going to be giving away some NFTs, Pigeon Quest NFTs, Monkey Muscle NFTs. Mary, by the way, has her own stables of Monkey Muscle NFTs, by the way. I think Mary's got 3 or 4 Monkey Muscle NFTs. She's swept the floor. But we're going to give away another 2. We're going to give away some Pigeon Quest NFTs. And we're going to talk about all things Chronos. And this is a bit of a different stream this week because we normally cover lots and lots of projects. But on Wednesday, we're going to be mainly focused on Compounder and WolfSwap. So we're going to be doing a lot of the same thing. Oracle's going to do some charts. We're going to talk about Compounder. We're going to talk about lots of things. And it's going to be a bit different than normal. But we're still doing the quiz.
Yeah, we can do the quiz. It worked last time. Because apart from the one, I think it just lagged. It worked perfectly fine.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do the quiz on Wednesday, which means one thing. KB is likely to finish in the top 3, would you say?
Yeah.
Fastest fingers. Maybe he's bugged our office. Maybe he gets like a 3-second head start on everybody else. Michael Burry, the guy who predicted the 2008 housing crash, just liquidated his entire portfolio. Again, as Eric Balchunas says, yawn. I made a few comments about, what was he called? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an idiot. I don't care if he's written a book. I don't care if he looks really intelligent in his glasses. He's an idiot. And the reason he's an idiot is he keeps giving you constant price targets for Bitcoin, which never happen. Case in point, last year, he said we'd hit $175,000 for Bitcoin last year and $350,000 for Bitcoin this year. And now he's come out and said that we're going to hit $250,000 for Bitcoin this year.
Kabir thinks KB gives us the internet and he's the provider. So that's why he's so fast, because he gets to man in the middle of us before it gets to YouTube.
I think you're right.
That sounds right.
I think, what we need to do is we need to rig it, KK. And what we need to do is we need the Oracle to basically add 5 seconds on to the response time of KB. Or what would be really funny is if the Oracle just adds 1 to every one of KB's answers. So if the answer is number 1, KB answers as number 2. If the answer is as 2, it comes through as number 3. That way, we've absolutely flummoxed him.
Yeah.
Haven't we? Anyway, so don't listen to anybody telling you price targets. They are all liars. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I don't mean they're lying to you because they want to put you out. They're lying to you because they want clicks. $175,000 last year was Rich Dad Poor Dad's target for Bitcoin. We got nowhere near it.
No.
300.
The thing, if it feels wrong, if you really go, that doesn't feel right, is because whenever you feel something, it's more like your subconscious than your conscious. And your subconscious is a lot faster than you are. And it goes through all the things you've already read, like everyone else saying all their predictions, which are in the field of an actual trader in crypto. So your subconscious is basically telling you, well, based on all we've already read, obviously, whether you've been watching Crypto House or reading it on Twitter yourself, you will know that this is a completely offsetted price by like 200k. So it's like, just don't listen to these. If it feels wrong, the whole point of what I'm yabbering about is if it feels wrong, it probably is wrong.
Exactly. So they all talk out of their backsides to sell their books. They sound intelligent. The same way Gary Stevenson sounds intelligent when he says things like, tax wealth, don't tax work. I mean, it sounds good, but it's utter nonsense. And it's never going to work that way. Anyway, El Salvador has been buying the dip. It is not just Michael Saylor who is dollar cost averaging it into Bitcoin. El Salvador, Bhutan, and allegedly several other countries are mining Bitcoin. El Salvador has 6,180 Bitcoin, which is worth a staggering $637 million. Again, some of these micronations are going to become very wealthy in the not too distant future. And when Saylor launches his Bitcoin hotel, they will be earning interest off their Bitcoin. Incredible. Anyway, moving on. We're going to get to the Oracle soon. Oracle's going to read some questions out today. I've come up with an idea, Oracle.
What?
We could read the questions out in 2 different languages. So we could read the question out in Urdu. Doesn't matter if I know the language, I'll get it translated.
Right.
You'll get the idea, won't you?
Yeah.
So I could read it out in French,
But
Spanish.
I don't know if YouTube does this for live streams, but I'm sure you can get a translator which does it live.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? Right, Bitcoin ETFs bought 26,700 Bitcoin in the first half of May. Only 7,200 were mined during the same period. Think about that. 4 times the amount of Bitcoin that were mined were bought. And that cannot continue forever. And I'm going to tell you every week, there is not enough Bitcoin in the world to satisfy the demand. And what happens when you can't satisfy demand? The price goes up. Sorry.
If you can't satisfy demand, then it goes up.
Put a bit of oomph into it.
If you can't satisfy demand,
Yeah.
then the line for demand offsets up,
Price goes up.
across to the right in
Exactly.
your supply demand graph.
And when people don't sell,
And when supply and demand meet, it meets at a higher price.
Is that called equilibrium?
That is economics. That's the first. You learn about supply demand graph, the first lesson in economics, and that is how it works.
There we go. Eleanor Terrett, I don't think we covered this on the live stream on Friday. You know the guy that hacked the SEC's X account and said Bitcoin ETFs were going live?
Yeah.
And then they weren't, and then they did.
Yeah.
Do you know how long he got in prison?
This is ridiculous.
Why is it saying 14 months?
Yeah, I think he's got that wrong. Is it years?
It's
Or
14.
is what you read?
What I read initially was he got 14 years. If he got 14 months, fine.
Yeah. No, CNBC 14 months.
Right, 14 months is fine.
Where did we read years? I remember.
It was when it came out. Which was Friday, I think. The first 3 reports were that he got 14 years. Because I said, how's he got 14 years when people like Alex Mashinsky and whatever, they're getting 12 years and whatever else it might be. But 14 months is fine. Basically, he hacked the SEC's account and said that the Bitcoin ETFs were going live. And then the irony is they went live, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I think he published their tweet that they were going to publish anyway.
Yeah, they had it in draft.
Exactly. Right, now so I've said this for a long time, Oracle, that World Liberty Financial is Donald Trump's Achilles heel. I've said it before the election. Go back and watch one of our 100,000 streams that we've done. It's his Achilles heel. They've added Justin Sun as an advisor. I mean, if there's anybody to add to your advisory committee, it's not him.
Yeah.
I just don't trust him at all. He just looks shifty. He's just, isn't he the guy that bought the banana and ate it?
Huh?
He paid like $1 million for a banana and ate it. It's him. I just don't trust him. And the thing is, the more snakes you bring into the pit, the more chance you have of being bitten, haven't you? This is why Indiana Jones was right. Avoid the snakes.
Yeah.
And he's the biggest one. Not the biggest one. One of the biggest ones. Right then. We've already looked at the market outlook, haven't we, before the stream? And what did we say? Was it Thursday and Friday?
Yeah.
Thursday, we've got jobless claims. And then Friday, we have new home sales. But on Thursday, we also have existing home sales, because why not publish that data on 2 separate days? Why not?
Exactly.
So 3 things that Powell looks at: inflation, housing, jobs. If the jobless claims go up, if the housing sales go down, with inflation going down, we know what that means. It means that Powell is going to cut the rates. Now then, we are going to move on to talk about one of your favourite subjects now, Oracle.
Yeah.
Liquidations.
Yeah. Sorry, my whole browser froze and I have to open it up again. I might need to send you the link again.
That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. You're not watching the stream?
My browser closed, didn't it?
Oh, okay. In the past 24 hours, 157,098 traders were liquidated, totaling 668 million in losses. I hope that none of you in chat were part of that 157,098 traders being liquidated. I can't imagine for 1 second KB has been caught in that trap. Here is the liquidation heat map over the last 24 hours. And there we go. That is a mighty fine number. But I mean, these are, we've covered the stream before, haven't we? Where we've been talking about $1.5 billion worth of liquidations.
Yeah.
And this doesn't do it for me, this. It's like drinking a shandy. It kind of tastes nice, but it's not really got the kick. Do you know what I mean? 670 million, 466 million in longs have been taken out, and 204 million in shorts. Really not a lot. Now, I'm going to have to log into the charts.
Okay.
You've made them all white, haven't you?
I can make them back.
Let me go and have a look. There's not many times when we've crossed streams before, have we? On the charts where you've been doing yours. Oh no, they're actually in the right colour.
I think they must have. I think Telegram TradingView's updated. So
Has it?
It's localized. It should.
Ah.
They should have done this from the start, but
Yeah.
I think it's localized.
Right. Okay, it's on the 15-minute. That's fine. So if we go to the daily to show you where we are, this is now, I wouldn't say super important, but it's one of the important charts to look at. This is the DXY, the strength of the dollar. Now, it's since we spoke last on Monday about this, I've drawn my Tony Hart pink line of where I think it's going to go, which is up and to the right. We're then going to get back into the channel, which is also where the bull market support band is on this. And we did pretty much follow it from the 21st of April to the 14th of May. So not bad, 4 weeks, it's been accurate. And then it's come down again. And now it's stuck at this kind of previous level. Now, I don't think this is a permanent decline again. I think we're going to continue to go back up because I think the dollar is going to strengthen over the next 6 months. Donald Trump has played pretty much everybody there is to his own book, The Art of the Deal. Everybody's fallen for it. The media has fallen for it. The liberals have fallen for it. People on crypto Twitter have fallen for it. The world's coming to an end. I told you it wasn't going to come to an end. I told you that he was playing by his rules, and it turned out to be that way. I am not some kind of soothsayer. It's just the way he plays the market. Now then, our good friend Bitcoin Dominance has, look at that. Can you see the charts that I'm looking at now?
Yeah.
Right. Can you see what we've done on Bitcoin Dominance?
Yeah.
We overshot, we came down, and where did we come down to? We came down to Bitcoin Dominance's very own bull market support band. And what has Bitcoin Dominance done, ladies and gentlemen? It's a little bit like, you know, in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Every time you close your eyes and you go to sleep, Freddy Krueger comes and gets you. Okay? We closed our eyes. We closed our eyes down here. Okay? And Freddy came to get us. And now we are about to see more nightmare, because I think this, and I said this at the time, I think this is a repeat of what we did back here, which is we had a fall off and then we resumed. And we've come up, we've fallen off, and I think we're going to resume. I don't think we've seen the end of Bitcoin Dominance. We have broken down, but we found support on Bitcoin Dominance. And if you do this, if I go and drag one of these lines from up here, if we do this, look what happened. That's where Bitcoin Dominance came down to. And it bounced off 62.2, whatever reason that number is. And now we're going to move back up. And maybe we start to do that again. I don't see, Oracle, this is a question for you.
Yep.
I don't see where Bitcoin Dominance stops. Can you help me out?
Oh, wait. I know you said it's alive.
Huh? I don't see where Bitcoin Dominance stops. I could have seen it 6 months ago, but everybody's buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And nobody's buying anything else. So I don't see where Bitcoin Dominance stops. Where do we see the end of Bitcoin Dominance?
Well, because this thing, like the whole narrative's been that everyone's buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that categorically has to be this. There has to be a certain amount of sell for the price to be moving how it's moving.
Yep.
So where's the sell coming from, and where is it going?
Well, it's not necessarily. It's a little bit like people can still buy Bitcoin, but
Yeah.
where's the money coming from to buy Ethereum and Solana and XRP faster than they're buying Bitcoin? That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? So Bitcoin, we could still see 22,000 Bitcoin a week being bought, which is a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of money. So where does the money come from to buy the alts if that money keeps coming into Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Are we going to get to the point where we're going to sit here in November and Bitcoin is at $180,000 and Ethereum is at $3,000 and XRP is at $4 and Solana is at $250. And we're sitting here going, never happened. It's not happened, has it?
No.
Because Bitcoin's just carried on. And Bitcoin dominance is now at 70% and it's not stopping. Because everything before this cycle has been based on Bitcoin dominance breaking down, because people, they move into alts, they move down from Bitcoin into Ethereum, and then obviously now we're going to look at XRP and Solana. But if that's not happening, when does the breakdown happen?
Yep.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it's just when does it happen? Anyway, total market cap is now in a very healthy range. We've got back up above the bull market support band. We're sitting at this nice range, and we're showing support at 3.2. If you look, if we drag one of these lines up from here, we don't need this one anymore. If you look at that line there, that looks to me like we've just come back in. Can you see the chart? You're not looking here.
No.
It's like when you come home with your picture from school and you want to go and show your dad. Have a look at me drawing, Dad. Your dad's like, no, I'm reading the sport. That's what it is.
Okay.
You see it now?
Mm-hmm.
See that line?
On this set to life. I'm on YouTube. It's latent by a certain amount.
So I think we've broken up and found support at the previous area where we found support. And that looks awfully familiar, which means the next move for me is 3.64 trillion, which is a 10% move.
Yeah.
Not today, clearly not today, but that's my next move, 3.64. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'm going to leave that line on the chart. That's what I think is going to happen. We're not going to look at any more of these charts because we're going to run out of time. So I'm going to get on to Willy Woo because this is important to Bitcoin. And then, did you send me another JIT-bit?
Yes.
Where have you sent it?
Telegram.
Okay, give me a second. I'll bring that up now. I'll bring that up after I've gone through the Willy Woo thing. And then after you've done your charts, you're going to read the ADA article, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so this isn't an article, this is a post by Willy Woo. People think Bitcoin is a magic unicorn that climbs to infinity on moonbeams. Here's the actual CAGR chart. We are well past the 2017 year, where we saw many hundreds% of growth. Look at 2020. We saw it drop from 100% CAGR to 30 to 40% CAGR, and it's trending downwards. Bitcoin is now traded as the newest macro asset in 150 years. It'll continue to absorb capital until it reaches equilibrium, which is exactly what we were saying about 10 minutes ago. Given long-term monetary expansion is around 5%, GDP is 3%, 8% is where the Bitcoin CAGR will settle at. Until then, maybe 15 to 20 years away. Enjoy the ride, because almost no publicly investable product can match Bitcoin's performance long term, even as Bitcoin CAGR continues to erode. Now, I know everybody in chat is asking me what CAGR stands for, and I can't read it from here. It probably means something important, but the reason I wanted to show this today was I made a video for the OGs on Saturday, which was your investment strategy. I think Kishan has watched it, definitely. I don't know if Jason and some of the other OGs have watched it. And basically there's 3 different strategies for 2025, 2030-ish, and then 2040. And without giving the game away, because it's for the OGs, the 2040 strategy is very simple. You keep buying Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin every week or every month that you can afford to buy it. And you buy Bitcoin for 15 years. And that's it. You then put that to one side like a mortgage. So you treat it like a mortgage. You put $100 a month from your salary into Bitcoin, and then you leave it. And then if you want to play the market, you build a portfolio of alts that you like. AI or real world assets, whatever it may be. Layer ones is another one. And you then use that portfolio over the next 3 or 4 bull runs, because the bull runs are going to get shallower and shallower. You use that to top up your Bitcoin. So your goal over the next 15 years is just to basically have as much Bitcoin as possible. It can be half a Bitcoin. It can be 1 Bitcoin. Your goal could be 1 Bitcoin. But remember, The Bitcoin you buy today is a lot cheaper than the Bitcoin you buy in 10 years' time or 15 years' time because of the way it's going to grow. And Willy Woo points the same thing out. And in my video, I explain, I cannot sit here and tell you that Ethereum, Solana, XRP, or Cardano will exist in 15 years' time. We don't know. They may merge. They may disappear. They may shut down. They may find a vulnerability that they never recover from. Bitcoin is the only one of all of the assets that exist that I would hang my hat on and say, this is the asset that's going to exist in 15 years' time. It's already the 5th or 6th largest asset in the world. It's going to become the 2nd, and ideally it's going to become the 1st. It's the only one. And until times change and Ethereum becomes indispensable to TradFi, there is no way on earth we are going to see any other asset come close to Bitcoin. There isn't one. It's a store of value. It's a valuable asset that nation states are now starting to buy. So that's the 2040 target with a few other things thrown in. The rest of the targets are for the OGs. But this supports what I said in my video. And this came out yesterday. So this came out after I made my video. And it was nice to see that the likes of Willy Woo are saying the same thing. Right, now we are going to hand over the reins to the Oracle. Some people say he doesn't need carrots to see in the dark. Some people say that he wakes up knowing what the price of Bitcoin will be the following day. But all we know is that he is called the Oracle. Over to you, Sunshine.
All right.
You are now in charge.
Okay, so I'm going to go look a bit, on the weekly and the high time frames, and then move down a bit. So as we have it right now, we can see we are currently at 103.240. Doing not bad, obviously Monday, so new weekly open. Normally, as I think has happened on most charts, Monday's open normally doesn't really move how the rest of the week moves necessarily. So in terms of having this weekly open be quite a negative one, I wouldn't expect us to come all the way down to where we've come from like 90k. But I am not exactly the most positive person right now, but I don't necessarily think that's something which can stop us from continue to go upwards and actually see complete new highs from 103, nearly a half K. So my main thing I'm focusing on is this candle here with this wick, and being this resistance point at around 106 to 60, which is basically where we got to on the candle bodies. And obviously we did wick up a bit above it, which comes above this candle. And again, obviously on these high time frame candles, you can kind of assess the movement of the hourly, the 4 hour and whatnot on these candles based on the high and the low, because obviously each candle, multiple 4 hour candles make up each candle as you go upwards. So you can kind of assess, okay, well, we kind of had from previous week the high, which we have now come up and swept, and then have now coming down from this high. So you can kind of clearly see, okay, cool, we've had this high, and now we're seeing to come downwards. So, and also back here, I'll go back onto it in a second. I think it's on the daily. There are some highs over here which we have come above over in this time frame. So from quite a long time ago, some of these highs. So my kind of assessment is, okay, we've now seen an external, like out of this range, looking backwards, we've had an external high moved from. And I think we're going to come down into the current range we're in to see to kind of a support point, if you will, or a buy area, which I think is good. Obviously, I have it marked here on the weekly as this candle. It does kind of widen out on the daily if we go to it. You can see it's kind of this kind of area. We did come into it 12th of May, but this is, I'm just going to keep on the weekly for now and talk about the high point here, about 100,000 and a half, or however you say that the best.
So you think the low is 100,500?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to break and see 90k. There's one thing, if you look at premium discount, that idea of, okay, well, in the balance of where you are versus the whole move, I suppose we are more so in the premium, but that doesn't necessarily, again, premium discount's all right. I think it's a bit better to use in the idea of letting it be a kind of a free range, because again, I don't necessarily think it's going to completely orchestrate our entire move. In the idea that okay, we shouldn't see a long from 100k. We should see a support from a sell or short from where we are now, and then see this in discount. I think the equilibrium, if we were to draw from the range, is around 93k, which then sees this gap here in the discount. I don't necessarily. I'm not going to kind of focus that as my main thing, because I don't believe we should see that low. I'm kind of focusing on this area and coming down from here to see basically 100k here. I mean, there are chances that we can come down. I think we are currently in the setup of building our process of coming down. So again, we are at this weekly kind of rejection block of resistance here. We did have this order block on the daily here, which you can see we used here as our resistance. We've now come above these kind of shorter areas highs. If you go to the hourly time frame, these shorter term highs here, which we've now put in above and now coming down. So I would aim for something internal in our internal range to look at, which obviously in this case I'm going to be focusing on this gap here, which obviously you can expand the daily, which would bring us to this 102k here. If I actually extend it myself, we can see what the prices are. If I do this quickly. There we go. As you can see, it still sits about 100k. We could see 102k again. I would aim more towards the midpoint, about 100k. So again, they both match up to around 100k, whatever you look at. So that's kind of what my prices I'm aiming for. I don't think we're gonna, it's over for Bitcoin. I think we're gonna come down from here and see all the way down to 88k. I don't think that. If we show the range quickly, we can see the prices we've already used. I obviously talked about these when we were over here back in December time. I was talking about this equilibrium in between about 106k and 109.5k, whatever it is exactly. We can see multiple times, here and here, especially this 108k, and if I actually go to this price here, 110k nearly equilibrium. So we are on the outer rim of that 106.5k in terms of the bodies, especially kind of sitting at this area. I do think there is big resistance here, and I do think we probably should see a bit of a pullback from this. In terms of again outcome, comparing this period versus this period, we have a lot below us. I do think we're in definitely a different situation completely, because again, apart from this candle down here, we weren't really sitting in a good scenario back in December time, but I think now we are in a good position. I would expect a bit of a pullback. I don't necessarily think that means we're going to come to 99 or 94k or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for Bitcoin.
And then when we do come down to 100,500, for example, where are we going next? To the upside?
Well, I think we'll go up again. Again, in this area, it's not that far of a move, realistically.
No, it's
to
not.
come to 100k, it's not that far. So in terms of the validity, if longer term, again, obviously I will look at it as we progress through the days. Again, I'm not just going to say, oh yeah, we'll go to 100k and then leave it for 4 weeks. If we're building this candle, especially if this candle prints, you can see we've come above this high, so an important area. We've had this candle, which we are now kind of printing. If we print below 103 and 103k, $100, whatever that is exactly, then this is also going to produce a larger daily order block, which then obviously be a bit more resistance to come down to. We already have one. I think it's already produced. If we go down to beliefs on hour here, you can see we've already come over this high and then done this gap here. So we already have one at 106k. I can, definitely see us doing this on this 103k area down here, which will obviously then kind of offset us lower in terms of where our resistance should be. So I would expect the next daily candle to come up towards 104k, aka tomorrow, and then continue downwards. So that would kind of be my setup per se. If in terms of waiting for when we should retrace, it would be this process of us printing in this day, and then probably into tomorrow, coming into kind of wicking back into this area about 104k, and then coming down again.
So we're going to come down, go to 104k, and then come down again.
No, we're going to produce. What I'm saying is, in terms of coming down,
Yeah.
it would be producing this 103, 100.
Yeah.
Coming, let me draw it. So doing this candle, coming back up into it,
Yeah.
then coming down, and then this would still be resistance. This whole area would still be resistance.
Okay.
So I'm not necessarily, from here we're going to, here we go. 116k, here we come. I do think we'll see resistance here. And again, it depends, because you can kind of see we're starting to, we could be doing something like that. So I'm gonna leave it at 100k. This is where we're coming to, because again, it's not going to be in the next 2 hours. We're going to come to 100k.
Okay.
It's going to take a while to happen. So I want to see how it progresses.
Right, we're going to move on. We're
Yep.
going to run out of time. Ada, you're dealing
It's
with
me
this.
now,
You're now going to do the Ada convo. Now, there's been a lot, by the way, of publicity. I'm not sure if it's in here. So let me just very quickly remind myself what this is about. Okay, so before we get onto this, just very quickly, there's a lot of mudslinging on X about the fact that they are trying to say that Charles Hoskinson stole a load of Ada, took it for his own, not personal use, but took it for his foundation or whatever it might be, and he's now going to sue the individual that's been involved in that story. So don't read everything you believe on X, and if it does go to court, then it'll all come out in the wash. But anyway, that was over the weekend. So now I will let you talk about this. And the reason is because you actually called the bottom, didn't you? On this.
Of this move. I don't know if it's the full bottom, but I was looking at Ada coming down. Where was it again? I'm not going to do a review of it. It was looking at around 85 cent, I think it was, maybe within 84 cent. I was looking at the move down towards 82.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So Cardano price eyes $1.32 breakout as ETF approval odds reach 63%. So the footnotes, or the, what do we call it? It's not footnotes because it's not at the bottom, right? It's the overview. TLDR. Whales bought over 80 million ADA into 48 hours as ETF approval odds rose to 63%. ADA tests resistance near 91. So when was this article made?
Not long ago. Yesterday morning.
This must, okay, because we weren't at 91. Okay, whatever. ADA test resistance near 91 cent. A breakout may trigger at, well, no, we're not. We're at 72.5 now. Breakout may trigger at 75% rate to $1.32. Grayscale's Cardano ETF filing boosts approval chance, driving institutional interest. Okay, this article will focus on the ETF side, not the actual prediction.
Correct.
So increased institutional interest and ETF approval odds. Probability of the SEC approving a Cardano spot ETF has increased from 56% to 63% in the past day. So currently, Grayscale is the only firm with an official filing for a spot Cardano ETF of the SEC. The commission acknowledged the product earlier in the year. Grayscale previously played a key role in securing approval for the first spot Bitcoin. Yeah, well, that's just a footnote of malarkey. So technical setups, I'm not going to read this because it's wrong. But I want to see what their reasoning is behind $1.32. I want to see why is this a price which is where they think it's going to stop at. So Cardano's price has been trading within a descending triangle pattern in recent weeks. It recently tested resistance near the 91 cent level, which aligns with the 50% Fibonacci retracement. A clear breakout above this point could lead to a rise towards $1.32, marking a potential 75% gain. So we look at their chart. So this is their chart so far. This is the weekly. We see that what day they took the screenshot at.
No, we don't.
So the price is sitting about 65.61. Let me just compare to the weekly quick. I just want to see what they're looking at. I mean, to be fair, you know what? Like it's about last week, I'd say. Although to be fair though, you know what? Actually, no. This article's the 18th. So to be fair, it was maybe yesterday because it's a new week today. So this wasn't too long ago. So we're technically still in this pattern. So that's fair. So in terms of when they say recently, they're looking at the weekly chart.
Yep.
So recently relative to the weekly. So in terms of why they have $1.32, it just realistically looks like it's to do with the Fibonacci levels, which is fair. But I think they have $1.32 as a previous high area.
Correct.
So they're just being safe and sorry and just suggesting it's going to the high.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what they're doing. And my argument is very simply this: it's not if, but when.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what these, because you remember, like these predictions, these 56% and 63% that are on here, if I zoom back up. So Cardano ETF in 2025, 63% chance for it to be approved by December the 31st this year. Okay. Yeah. We need Cardano futures, and then we need to add 6 months on, because that's how it works. Yeah. And we've seen Solana futures and XRP futures. So the countdown has already begun on those two. I don't remember seeing Cardano futures. Now, if you add 6 months from where we are now, we are at what, the 21st of November, 19th of November. I said the all-time high is going to be the 24th of November this year. That's my kind of like beacon. It's not fact, it's beacon. So again, being approved, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It can happen. It can be approved and then take another 3 months. If Grayscale is the only people or the only institution that's applied for it, guess what?
Yeah.
They're going to wait for everybody else to apply for it.
Exactly.
And they're not going to put one live. It gives them an unfair competitive advantage. So I am not hanging my hat on a Cardano ETF this year. I'm hanging my hat on an XRP and a Solana ETF this year because they've already gone down the process. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk about 3 altcoins to watch in the coming days. Now, this is actually probably quite not accurate, but quite timely, because most of these alts will have retraced with Bitcoin and further 5, 6, 7%. So now might be a good time to pick some of these up. And normally I don't cover these because it's normally like, crap coin number 1, crap coin number 2, sponsored crap coin number 3. But these aren't. These are actually 3 decent coins. So the first one is Solana. Solana, the breakout, I think people have been talking about it going towards not above $200, but going somewhere towards $200. I think getting it where we are now, which is what are we at now, 160? I think
$160.
$160, yeah. So I think getting it 160, and then if we move back up to 176, that's good 10% move already. So you could long, not from now, but you could long from when Bitcoin carries out its move that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because obviously if Bitcoin goes to 100,500, not financial advice, but if we go to that, then what's Solana going to go to, 150?
Yeah, I think, 160 doesn't sound like a crazy price from what I remember of my chart. I'll bring it up in the background for me, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, so I think if Bitcoin does continue to go down, by the way, I don't think it is, but I haven't really looked at the charts today. I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to see what news comes out today and tomorrow, because I don't think Trump's going to announce something.
Something happened. I mean, that's the problem with external analysis. Like, if something happens, there's not really much you can chart about it.
Exactly. So I think we're going to see a bit of that. But the other argument is, because the markets have rallied so much after the tariff FUD, they're slightly overheated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So all the markets have come back up. So all the markets might need a little bit of time to cool off. So the likes of the S&P 500, that might need another week or so to cool down. If it needs a week or so to cool down, then guess what? Bitcoin's going to cool down as well. Bitcoin can go to 100, 101, something around that. Might even lose 100 and go to 98, which I don't think will happen, but it could. Then I think you could pick up $150 Solana. I think. Now, so that's a good one. Sui, again, is a good one. We were talking about $5 for Sui 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. We're now at 385. So again, could it go to 350 or 340? Absolutely. It's talking here, near-term top of 420 to 430. I think that's about fair. Then you're looking at getting a 340, 330, 350 Sui. Again, short-term. You could long Sui. If you look at the bounce back ability of coins after Bitcoin corrects, you want to look for the coins that move up faster than everything else. And Sui fits that for me.
Yeah.
Sui is one of these coins. It doesn't matter what I say, Sui is going to do exceptionally well this bull run because it's got everybody behind it. I've made videos about it. It's just going to do well. Sonic, 50 cents is a very tough price for Sonic. It doesn't seem to go much below 50 cents. It goes to 44, 45. It doesn't go much above 50 cents. It goes to 60 cents. So Sui, for me, again, if this level breaks 40 cents becomes a potential target, again, I'd be buying Sonic at 40 cents. I bought in at 50 cents and 48 cents or something like that. I think it's a good price. I don't care if it goes to 40 cents because it's not something I'm buying and flipping. So again, 3 really solid tokens: Sol, Sui, and Sonic. The 3 S's. Again, getting Sonic between 40 and 50 cents, getting Sui between, say, $3.50 and $4, and getting Solana at somewhere near 150. I mean,
I completely agree. I'm looking now, and like we've got the same kind of setup going on, and the midpoint about $155.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we trace back into that price as well.
Yeah, I think so. Right, you're doing the killer app next.
Yep.
Are you not?
Yes. So, report. VCs see stablecoins as crypto's killer app. Despite the geopolitical tensions from the US trade war causing a decline in the most liquid tokens, venture capitalists continued to focus on the core utility of cryptocurrencies, particularly stablecoins. So VC's growing positive view on stablecoins. Although the geopolitical, venture capitalists were still seeking out crypto's core utility rails. This interest is evidenced by the growth of the stablecoin market capitalization by 25 billion to 227 billion, even as token prices retreat. So according to the latest PitchBook report on crypto VC trends, the stablecoins market's diverging fortunes demonstrate VC's growing positivity or positive view of stablecoins.
Yeah.
Okay, let me scroll down a bit more. So while the crypto market has since raised much of the trade-induced losses in the first 2 months of Q2, the PitchBook team believes VCs will only commit more if the industry works to address security concerns, which are being amplified by the Bybit hack. The team also predicts that more and more institutional investors will demand real-time proof of reserve tooling and middleware that abstracts away key management complexity. Right. Okay. I can read this quote at the bottom, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Taken together, Q1 2025 was a quarter of consolidation rather than capitulation. Market beta turned negative, but venture-relevant signals, stablecoin growth, infrastructure de-risking, and credible IPO pipeline remain intact. Okay, so all the money is being held in stablecoins so far, as it's the most standard thing.
I think there's two things for me. Number one, VCs understand stablecoins because they're dollar denominated.
Yes.
And number two, if you're the American government and you want to retain control as the global reserve currency, and you've got stablecoins currently sitting at 227 billion, you could see a very, very distant future where there is 1 trillion in stablecoins and a Bitcoin price of about $250,000, because Bitcoin doesn't have to go up directly in correlation to stablecoins. Because when you get real world assets coming online, real world tokens and stock exchanges and stuff like that, it needs liquidity. It needs stable coins. It doesn't need Bitcoin or Ethereum. So much as Bitcoin is moving away from the rest of the crypto market, stable coins have now become their own beast. And at some point, the same way we look at stocks and shares, we're going to start looking at crypto. And that is, there's going to be an AI market, a real world asset market, a stable coin market, and then a Bitcoin market, and then everything else. So stable coins do what? They make an absolute fortune. They make 4 or 5%. But what do stable coins buy? US treasuries.
Yeah.
So what props up the American economy? From our point of view, Bitcoin doesn't really at the minute because they don't hold a lot of it. Stable coins do.
Yep.
So if you own or have control over Tether and Circle and PayPal and Ripple and everybody else, if you have control over all of the stablecoin providers and Paxos as well, you've got control over all the stablecoin providers, and they sit there basically buying American treasuries every single week to prop up the American economy, or prop up America. And then you've got the likes of BlackRock building real world assets on top of blockchains like Ethereum. Then it's a win-win for the American government. It's a win-win for the stable coins because they're going to get legislation, which means surety, which means all of these other kind of things. And then the only other thing that you mentioned then, which I shook my head at, was to do with basically security. Well, newsflash, stable coins issuers, they can freeze those assets in your wallet.
Yeah.
So if you steal $1 million from Ondo's treasury in USDT, guess what? It can be frozen.
Yeah.
So this isn't a cryptocurrency. This is a centralized issued token. So I think stablecoins, I'm not a massive fan of them, obviously, because it's not technically crypto, but they are going to be pushed and pushed and pushed to the nth degree. And there's going to be $1 trillion in stablecoins probably within the next 3 years, if not sooner. I mean, it's getting added to billions at a time every month. So a couple of years' time, it will definitely pass. Now, we've got some questions in chat before we go on.
Okay.
Do you want me to read some of these out?
Yeah, sure.
Because I haven't got to them. So I'm going, right. KB will have a translator ready. Mr. Orange looks shifty. Good morning. Okay, the price. The Oracle is here. Tariq. Okay. Kabir. Where does the outflow from Bitcoin go to? The other stable coins aren't big enough. Well, if you look at the way it works with Coinbase and the way it works with the other exchanges, another exchange we can't mention the name of, even though I've said Coinbase, they work differently to the markets. So you can have a market where the sum of money in the market is greater than the sum of money connected to the market. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be extracted and then suddenly, if we've only got $200 billion worth of stable coins and we've got a $3.2 trillion industry, there's no comparison. It's just a pool of liquidity. AI assets will challenge Bitcoin in the next 5 years. Nothing's going to challenge the value of Bitcoin, though. So Bitcoin is always going to be. If Bitcoin gets to $10 trillion and becomes the second biggest asset in the world, there isn't going to be another crypto asset come along that will take over Bitcoin. Now, maybe threatening the technology of Bitcoin, that's a possibility. Tariq wants me to call him on Telegram, which we will do. That's pretty much it. And then a few good mornings. Kishan has arrived in chat.
Hi, Kishan.
Hello. Right, you're going to read this.
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah, you're fine, not bad.
We're doing all right for time, you know. It's 7 minutes to 12. We've done okay, considering what we've been through.
Honest loading.
By the way, and I never thought I would say this, the vote so far, who would you prefer to fight? And it's 100 duck-sized crocodiles and 1 crocodile-sized duck. It's 50-50.
I don't know about that.
It's 50-50 in chat. Don't forget to vote, and your vote matters. And also, smash the like button. I don't know how many people have pressed the like button already, but smash the like button and say hello in chat. Right, Oracle, come on.
Am I reading this?
Hey?
I'm reading this. I thought, because I just did the VC, then it goes free Willy Ada,
all right then.
free target.
Trump's crypto ventures raise questions about infrastructure-backed digital assets, and there is a picture of him. Look at him. He's happy. He's got that beautiful unscarred ear that he was shot at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's healed, it's healed.
Hey?
It's healed, it's fine.
He's healed. I mean, he's not a normal man.
No, he's really a force to be reckoned with.
He is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, in some countries, he'd be called a god. Donald Trump is back in the headlines, this time not just for politics, but for a massive $2 billion crypto deal between the Trump Organization and World Liberty Financial, based in the in the UAE. It's not just another celebrity endorsement; it's a serious move into a blockchain-backed finance, backed by Middle Eastern capital and global headlines. Remember when Trump was over there shaking hands in the Middle East last week, and they were playing Star Spangled Banner, and Trump walked out waving flags, probably playing a little bit of Born in the USA in the background, giving it the big thumbs, eagles flying everywhere, you know, pictures of bombs going off, the usual type of American propaganda. He wasn't just there for America. He was there for all of the people that turned up at the event. I think we read some of them out. Google was there.
Yeah.
So Alphabet was there. Who else was there? Facebook was there. That's Sam Altman, the guy that's going to bring down the human race. He was there. So it was more of a trade foray. And of course, while he's there, he's got to take a little bit of a piece of the pie for himself, hasn't he? Now, these are some of the things that World Liberty Financial have been doing. They've got their own stable coin, because why not? Listed on Binance. They've got blockchain integration into luxury real estate, partnerships across Dubai, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, using digital assets for payment and identity systems. But here's the catch: none of these can work without scalable, high-throughput blockchain infrastructure. That's where the real investment opportunity lies, not in the Trump token, but in the layer one platforms capable of powering tokenized global finance. Enter Canch Network. We're going to ignore all of this, because this right here, this is an advert for a pre-sale, which we are not going to read. But instead, what I'm going to do is focus on the premise of this. And that is this, that we said that Trump was going to move into each element of crypto. NFTs, meme coins, stable coins, DeFi platform, all in the bag. All in the bag. Already in the satchel. He's got his little black mask over his face. You can't tell it's Trump. He's got his little black and white striped outfit on, and he's got his bag, and it's full of all the crypto goodies that he's taken. that's the plan. He will have his own platform in the next 2 years where you will be able to buy and trade all different types of crypto assets. Even Trump token will be involved. And that's just the price you pay for having Trump as your president if you are American, that he takes a little bit of the pie. 5% here, 2% there. It's just the way it works. But you knew that before it came out. And also, I'm sure the Oracle will join me in saying two things. Number one, we wish Joe Biden a speedy recovery from his diagnosis. He's had a terrible diagnosis, which what I find uncanny is the diagnosis being announced within 24 hours of the Hugh tapes. I don't think there is a coincidence between those tapes being released and this diagnosis. I don't think anything of the sort, because it's not cause and effect. I don't think the tapes being released saying how infirm he was and he didn't know about people's birthdays or the fact that one of his sons had passed away, I don't think those tapes coming out has anything to do with this diagnosis. So we wish Joe Biden a really speedy recovery. I hope he goes on to live many more years, and thank him for his 50 years of service to the American people. And now you're going to read about scams, which I think is a beautiful segue.
Yep, the epidemic of them. Okay. Epidemic of scams flooding Instagram and Facebook, affecting many different industries, says Meta. Meta executives are reportedly acknowledging a serious new problem with scams affecting its social media platform. A spokesperson for Meta, the parent company of social media behemoths Instagram and Facebook, tells the Wall Street Journal that the corporate giant is dealing with an epidemic of scams that's been growing exponentially in recent years, both in scale and sophistication. Let's actually go find out what it is. Okay. So what's the actual scam?
There's multitudes of scams. Does it list them?
That's why I'm going to try and find the area of it being listed. But I don't see it.
There we go. It's about Meta's response to the scams with facial recognition tech, partnerships with banks and tech firms, since the scams are affecting so many industries and different parts of society. That's the bit I'm up to.
It's just Zeller. Blocking certain Zeller reports and warning users about transactions originating from social media platforms like Meta. Documents seen by the Wall Street Journal reportedly show that Meta has recently deprioritized enforcing scams, avoiding takedowns of erroneous advertisements because of supposed safety concerns, while also cutting costs and moving resources to other departments. So they're saying they're doing a good job, but apparently they're not. They're actively expunging funds out of that sector of their company, which is to protect people.
Okay, what we'll do is we're going to close the browser down, and then we're going to go full screen. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Speaking of schemes, what VPN are you using? We've got a couple. I know that there's loads of crypto people that will tell you to buy certain VPNs because they make 75% commission. We don't care about making commission out of that. What VPNs do you use, Oracle?
Well, obviously, you've always got them like scammy free ones on your phone. You're just testing something. But I mean, NordVPN, as much as it is railed on, I don't use NordVPN. I don't like it. Wait, what do you have installed in yours?
I've got TrickByte. Which is about $4 or $5 a month, and TrickByte does lots of things as well as just allowing you to have a VPN. It also allows you to do certain setups where you can use certain DNS servers and stuff like that. So TrickByte is what I use, and it's cheap. And there's loads of them knocking around. But what you want to do is make sure you don't go for one that charges you for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean the one I used for a while was Windscribed, because it was it had a system going, and I abused the system and got like 50 gig free of bandwidth to use that for a while. But I don't really use the VPN too much on the main ones.
No, but I mean, what I would say, the biggest thing you can do is, if you understand technology, then you should get yourself a cold storage wallet, a Ledger or a Trezor or a OneKey. Go and get one of them. There is a link somewhere to Ledger, and it is a commission link, so we will get commission out of it. So you can go and get yourself a ledger. And if you can't do that, because a lot of people out there are not that technically gifted to be able to do that, is if you're on Binance, make sure all of your security settings are on. And I said this last week, your two-factor authentication, your anti-phishing code, your Google Authenticator, your mobile phone SMS thing set up. If you've got them all installed, it doesn't mean that you have 0 chance of being hacked, but you have less than 1% chance of being hacked. And if you're going to go and use some of the, maybe get yourself a Solana wallet and go and play around on Solana, only put like $50 or $100 or something in there and stay safe. That's what you need to do. I want to know if Syrup is good at 32 cents. They're going to do a big announcement on Friday. I don't know what the big announcement is. I think it's going to go to $1, and then I think it's going to go to $2. And I think we've managed to find a project that's going to go up. Is it a good price at 32 cents? I would say either Bitcoin comes down to 100,500, as the Oracle says, and you might be able to get it below 30 cents. Or if you don't and we go up, then you've missed the boat at 32 cents. But I don't think 32 cents is a bad price to get it at. I was telling everybody to buy it at 11 cents and 12 cents and 13 cents and 15 cents and all that kind of nonsense. I then had price targets. Oracle had price targets. They've all been hit because it's a new industry. It's a new growth. And I think it's going to go up. But my target is $1. Everybody keeps telling me I'm being bearish by saying $1, but $1 is a 3x from here. So have a look at that. Anything else, Oracle, you want to say before we go to 12:04?
Not particularly. I'll be streaming tomorrow, streaming Wednesday, streaming Friday. We make some videos as well.
That's the point. Let me bring up the videos that we've made. Because the Oracle has been knocking the videos out of the park. So we're going to bring the videos up. If you're watching on Binance and you've never heard of us, we're a crypto warehouse. We stream, 5 to 7 times a week. We make videos. We do all that kind of good stuff. And we make educational videos. We don't make scam videos. And bring this up now. Give me 1 second. I want to show you this. So go over and subscribe. And we've hit 2 milestones, by the way. Oracle.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1, we hit 210,000 followers, which is not actually true because there's about 10,000 followers we don't include because they are CoinMarketCap and Binance Square, so we don't include them. So at 210,000 followers, but we have hit 6,500 followers on YouTube.
Amazing.
And we've not just hit it. I think we're now at 6,505.
Yeah.
So we've done about 10 subscribers in a day. Anyway, the Oracle has done, or we have done, a Satoshi Nakamoto Alien or Time Traveler video. The Oracle has done a Black Mirror crypto game or dystopian trap video. We've done the case for Bitcoin, the Paris kidnap, Sui and Mew. We've done 6 videos in 6 days.
Yeah.
Because we are
professional.
Anyway, we're going to go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you all in the morning. Take care. Thank you, Mags, Solo Sky, Manjeet is here, Hidden Agendas, Kishan, Kabir, KB, the usual crowd. Thank you for coming and being part of this journey to $150,000 Bitcoin, which is going to be Friday.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Are you doing an outro?
Like I said, I'm also my thank yous. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining on stream. It means a lot if you want to be here, spending all you guys' time, your precious time, being here and being part of the stream. So thank you guys so much. Obviously, I already said I'll be streaming tomorrow and Friday, so I will be there. I'll be a bit more in depth with my Bitcoin chart. Obviously, I want to see how it goes with it all because I didn't want to spend too much time on the chart. But thank you all, appreciate you all. Shout out to you all. Thank you.
See you soon. Right, I'm going to turn it off once I have... Yeah, I'm going to turn it off. Right, tatio. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, let me just... press... It's decided to try and take a screenshot while I turn the mics off. There we go.